The USC Trojans take on rival UCLA in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament tomorrow night. I'm joined by Paolo Uggetti to break down the keys for USC going into the postseason. Thanks for joining me, Paolo.
Thanks for having me.
So a couple keys we've discussed for USC as they head into the postseason are their interior presence, keeping their pace up to where they want it to be as a fast run-and-gun team, and just improve their offensive efficiency. Ever since Darian Clark went out, he's back now, but when he was out, USC's offense slipped, their defense slipped. They just went on a bad streak for them. Let's start, though, with their inside presence. What's important about that?
Right, so I think the biggest thing is USC has struggled with in the last stretch of the season is their defense inside. They're being dominated by big men like Jacob Poeltl, who really had a field day with them. So as you see, they're 94th in the nation in defensive efficiency, which means they're allowing 99.8 points per 100 possessions. Not an ideal number. Then you go to see the opponent's field goal percentage. It's also 94th in the nation. If the Trojans want to make a run in the Pac-12 tournament and then into March Madness, that is not a number you want to have.
Yeah, I mean, they say defense wins championships, and 94th in the country. If the top 65 teams make it to March Madness, 94th in the country for defense is not where you want to be.
Exactly. And the other thing is they're allowing a lot of two-pointers, points via two-pointers, 40 points per game, which means that they're not protecting. The two-pointers usually come in the paint, which means they're not really protecting that space very well. That's mostly because they don't really have a big man that's like kind of a dominating force, which we've talked about in the past, but we'll see how they can. That's definitely one thing they'll have to improve on in the postseason.
Chimezie Metu is going to need to step up if the USC Trojans are going to make a run in the Pac-12 tournament, or especially if they want to make a run in the NCAA tournament.
Exactly.
But what about pace?
Pace is a big part of this team. It really defines their team. It's the way Andy Enfield wants to play, just fast. When the season started, when they were off to their big run, they were playing really fast, getting alley-oops, a bunch of fast break points, really utilizing their athleticism and their skills. After about January 20, when they played Oregon, when they went to Oregon and struggled in that game, their pace has really slowed down because teams are starting to figure them out. So you see 72.1 possessions per 40 minutes. That's 47th in the country. Back at the beginning of the season, they were in the top 25 of pace. So they were
up around 80 per game.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see the big drop-off has really hurt their game because they're being forced to slow down and really set up their offense, which does not bode well for their skills.
And one of the team's things they've been doing is trying to zone them with a 2-3 or a 1-3-1 full court press to try to take them out of their rhythm offensively. USC has some dynamic guards in Julian Jacobs and Jordan McLaughlin who can beat people off the dribble. So in a man defense, USC's offense has been rolling. But when teams zone them, they haven't been able to figure out how to break that zone and get to the next level against tougher defenses.
Right, and you see Julian Jacobs, every time he gets the ball, he wants to push it. Because if they get out on the break, especially when Chimezie Metu is on the floor and Benny Borat can stretch out the floor, that's when they're at their best.
Fast breaks, it's what this offense thrives on. It's when they're running and when they're at their peak, they're in the fast break. But ever since their late January road trip up to Oregon, their offense hasn't been where they want it to be. So what really happened in that road trip?
We're talking about three things to watch for. This is probably the biggest thing to watch for. They need to get back on their rhythm offensively if they want to, like you said, make a run into the postseason. Before pre-January 20, they were hitting 41% of their shots.
I mean, that's Warriors-esque.
Exactly.
Right
there. After that trip to Oregon, they started dropping. Shots weren't falling. And we said, the pace is important, but if you can run all you want, but if you're not hitting shots, it's not going to matter. USC really used the three-point shot as their bread and butter in the beginning of the season. They were hitting shots. Guys were getting open. They were stretching the floor. It was really a fluid offense. And, their offensive efficiency was 113 points per 100 possessions. And then it started dropping, as you saw when they came back from that Oregon trip. So for USC to really kind of get back into the rhythm and really have a fluid offense again and really make a run, they need to fix that up and start making those shots.
Yeah, that's been a sort of a theme for Coach Enfield and some of the players, like Caton Reinhardt said after the Oregon game on Saturday. Their excuse for losing is that they're just not making shots. And while that may be true, they need to find ways to win when they're not hitting all their shots, when they're not playing at that super elite level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's going to be those tough games that, March Madness, games slow down, games get really tough. Every possession counts. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they can start hitting these big shots.
And the Trojans should be able to take care of business tomorrow, whether they hit those shots or not against UCLA. But they'll need their electric backcourt and wings to be strong if they want to make a run deep in the tournament. And Paolo, when you watch these guys on the court in the Galen Center, they've been dominating there all season. But sometimes, just sometimes, you think you can do what they do. And I got the chance to find out whether I can when I caught up with Pac-12 first-teamer Julian Jacobs and took him on in a casual game of horse.
One for shot? Yeah, sure. Home court advantage. I'll give you the first one. Okay. First shot from the S on the Trojans.
Oh boy, this seems like one he's practicing.
First try.
It's all good. So you guys, first 20-win season since way too long ago for USC Basketball. What's it been like bringing this program from the ashes, you could say? I mean, obviously, when you came here, weren't so good now.
Right. I definitely say that's
huge part of why I came to SC, just because I wanted to be a part of a program that I could potentially, help contribute to turning around. So for me, it's been great to see it all come to fruition, and obviously the fans and just the community around SC basketball has definitely got a lot stronger over the past couple of years. And then Enfield's done a good job of bringing in certain recruits and the coaching staff that he brought in. So to me, I'm just really lucky and fortunate to have been a part of it. So half-court shot. That's off too. First try, don't you worry. I'll catch his air ball.
Get us off the schneid with the make here.
No way. No way. First try. Psych.
Ice cold.
This is a competition at the end of the day.
Oh, it is.
To answer.
Oh! That's close.
Let's see. We're going to do some trick shots.
Okay.
So from behind the backboard, I got this one. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Too easy.
There we go.
Too easy.
Right here? Yep. No way. That's clutch.
But the Pac-12 tournament's a neutral.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
what difference does that make?
Home for me, but
Home for you, but neutral for everybody else.
Yeah,
And the other
yeah.
team, they don't have their home crowd, you don't have your home crowd.
Right.
What difference does that make? You've obviously been 2 years now.
Yeah. I think whether it's neutral or not, either way, you're not at your home facility. So it sort of is like playing an away game.
Wow, you really gave him a run for his money there.
I mean, I tried. I got hot early, but towards the end, he started using his athleticism, and I just couldn't keep up.
That half-court shot, though, very impressive. First try.
First try, but it was all luck. Props to Julian for a great win. But for the entire video and the entire interview, go to uscannenbergmedia.com. Paolo, the Pac-12 tournament, it starts tomorrow. What is your prediction for how USC can fare in the tournament?
Well, USC ended up as a 7th seed, which was not ideal. I mean, they had a chance to really be 5, even 4, and get that first round bye. Did not happen. But now they're going to be pegged along UCLA, which is UCLA is a talented team, but USC has already beaten them twice, so they should beat them again. And I'm going to say they will beat them. It'll be a close game, but I think they'll edge it out. And then I think that Utah presents too tough of a matchup for USC. So Jacob Portal is going to have his day again, and I think USC will get eliminated there. But with March Madness, it doesn't end there. They'll probably make the tournament, and that'll be interesting to see how far they can go there.
Yeah, anything can happen when you're a long team that can shoot, when you can make shots. If you can make shots like they haven't been recently, like we detailed.
You have the dynamic backcourt, like you mentioned.
Always important in March.
Never know what can happen.
But the first step for USC is to take on UCLA, which they do tomorrow at 6:10 on Pac-12 Network.